Hello everyone, it's Katya Paprika with you again. And today we are going to prepare two versions of very tasty and at the same time useful candies with you. The first version is more suitable for athletes. They need additional protein support. Even though we are all at home now, many still continue their sports and stay active. Don't look at me, it's not me, unfortunately. So, people who are into sports always have protein at home. We will make the first version of the candy with you. Such candies can and even should be eaten after training, so to speak, and you've treated yourself to something sweet and you've got extra protein for your muscles. The second option suits everyone else. This will especially suit those who are fasting, vegetarians, raw foodists. If you haven't seen it, I had a Raffaello cake recipe on my channel. Here the meaning will be the same, but today we'll use pumpkin. The candies turn out to be very interesting, very fragrant and very tasty. And now let me show you how it's all done. Let's start with the pumpkin. The recipe requires half a can of grated pumpkin. I cut off a small piece by eye. I'm not going to grate it, I'll just put it in the blender. I will make the dough in 2 stages. Send it to the blender. I will make the dough in 2 stages. First, blend the pumpkin and dates, then use a hand blender. They are too hard for you. Remove the pits from them, and they are too hard for you. We remove the pits from them and send them to the pumpkin. And now we will bring the mass to readiness with the help of a submersible blender. Add coconut oil, cocoa. Add a teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of salt to get a more homogeneous mass. This is the best option for my blender. If you have a powerful stationary blender, it will look better. Next, I use a glass container with a lid. You can take any dishware that is convenient to send to the freezer. We spread out the layer. At the last moment, I decided to add nuts for flavor. We cover it with a lid or foil and send it to the freezer to taste. We cover it with a lid or foil and send it to the freezer for an hour. We cut it into portion pieces with a knife. It's convenient to do this with a knife dipped in boiling water. For easy removal of the candies, I'll dip the mold in hot water for a few seconds, but it's better to put a food film at the bottom. There will be less hassle with the shape. We carefully remove the candies with a spoon and store them in the refrigerator. The candies should be kept cold. For the second recipe, we will need not the whole banana, but only 100 grams. Next comes the most exciting part, mashing the banana with a fork. It didn't go so well for me, but this is the second time I'm making these candies, and the amount of protein stated in the recipe is not enough for me. The mass turns out to be liquid. In the end, I added cocoa as a dry ingredient, more protein, and coconut shavings directly into the mass to get a more plastic consistency. With wet hands, we form a patty, put a nut inside, roll the candy and roll it in any topping. I have the coconut shavings and cocoa. I decided to reshape it in the end so it would look more like native candies. We store the candies in the fridge. Honestly, I saved these 2 candies to show you the tasting because lately we eat everything before we can film it. As for these pumpkin candies, they are really cool. You can really taste the cinnamon in them, you know, we really love to drink coffee with cinnamon. If you just take coffee without adding cinnamon there and add these candies to the coffee, it's just perfect. As for the second candy, when they are in your fridge, they become denser on top of the candy because at first they are very soft. They can even melt sometimes. If they are very soft sometimes, they can even melt if I have them for more than a day. Their consistency has become Much thicker considering how they look on the second day. I advise you to eat them only on the second day. They are really more delicious on the second day, that's for sure. But that's all for me. All the sweets are eaten. I'm quite satisfied, and I'm not even ashamed to eat so many sweets because these are not the sweets we buy in the store. They are much healthier. That's all for me. I was Katya Paprika. See you in the next video.